It's Danie and Kevin, the podcast.
All right. What's this podcast number 5, 4?
Five. Thank you for the applause. You look confused.
I like to be awkward with it. How does it work? You can't do yours, right? Danny, do yours. Go on. Okay, that's a Raven.
She just had a vision.
Oh my gosh. Oh, how was your week? Fun?
It's been good. It's
Yeah.
been good.
How's the club hosting life been, huh?
Child.
COVID?
That's how it's been.
Yeah?
No, remember I told you I'm a COVID long hauler in the other show?
Yeah.
And so I think being in the club is exacerbating my post-COVID cough because it was almost gone. And I think being in the club with the smoke and just all of the people, and then I'm talking over a microphone, which I have not done literally in 2 years, like in a club atmosphere, because you kind of talk, from, and I'm like, what is going on? I'm pushing from my diaphragm. Why is this happening? But when I first did it Wednesday night, my throat was on fire.
Really?
Yeah.
And then it got a little better Friday and Saturday.
Okay.
And then last Wednesday, again, like I prepared. Like I had my water with me and all that. But yeah, we're going to have to figure that out because I can't not have a voice.
You're going to have to walk in there with an N95 on.
Yeah.
Oh. Wow, that brought up so many memories.
The fact that all of us know what N95 is.
Dog, my homie Koo, he used to wear the N95s with a mask on top of that too. Like,
I remember.
Yeah.
what's going on, man?
I remember.
That was 2 years ago. Think about it. 2 years ago, Danny.
People were putting milk jugs over their head.
in this same room. We were doing the radio show from COVID. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, we were. Remember, you had at first you had the studio in the closet.
Yeah, that's great.
I did a show from the closet.
Yeah.
Did a lot of things from the closet. Anyway, moving right along.
Actually, my first kiss in
So
the closet.
CJ, what have you got going on? I saw on your Instagram you were watching Dueling Lizards.
Listen, this was the most entertainment I think I've ever had with lizards. And I like the Jurassic Park movies, but this was like right in my backyard. These two lizards, there must have been a female nearby because they were both male lizards, and I'm
That's
assuming.
mine.
I'm assuming, yeah, they were definitely
Look at my
like, "That's
girl,
mine."
homie.
But they were literally dueling. Like to the point where like they were grabbing each other's neck. It looked like the scene from Jurassic World where the Tyrannosaurus Rex and then
Oh, that big one?
Yeah.
That other big one? They were like fighting at the end?
Yeah, they were literally doing that.
No.
Yeah, I saved it to my Instagram. I put it on my I saved it on one of my highlight things on my Instagram at it's CJ on air. Go check it out. It's wild. I didn't realize lizards fought.
You think about the concept of that though, it's so trashy. It's like homegirls just sitting on the side eating grapes.
And these two men are beating the
That's so
absolute
funny.
mess out of each other.
You know, just eating
No,
grapes.
she's not over there. She's over there like, yeah.
Like, it's me, they want me, babe.
Hot girl summer, we sweet.
Prove it.
That's not it. It reminds me of the penguins. Remember the penguins that were fighting over?
Oh, yes, the penguin movie from the
Remember the
Discovery
homie?
Channel when they
Yeah, all you heard was just smacking.
Yo, and then that story was so messed up
It
because
was
the
sad.
penguin went away, I
Yeah.
think to get food or something, and he came back and a new man penguin had moved in,
He
took
was
his
like-
kids, and he had to fight the new man for his family.
No,
That's
and
the food
the
chain.
worst part is Shorty was like, she was just like, the narrator,
they
he
got
said
to
it.
the end. They were like, because basically it kind of was a tie. They were just fighting.
Yeah.
And so at the end, the female had to choose which one she wanted to be with.
Tell me she did not pick the new meat.
She picked the new
Yeah.
man, and then he
She
was sad.
like,
He was
yeah.
like, eh.
At the end, the narrator goes, "She has no time for losers." I was like, "Damn, bro!"
Penguins are
I mean,
savage.
got his eyes pecked out, like
It was terrible.
Smacked
And he's
around,
just like-
and he's just off to just walking home. Like,
And he was
man,
like,
this
Listen,
shit,
that's what these lizards were doing. These lizards, I actually saw saliva coming out of their mouths.
bro. Really?
I didn't think you did something. And then like they would take a break and like go sit in the sun because obviously they have to be in the sun. They're cold blooded, and so they'd sit in the sun and recharge. And you would just see their bodies like breathing, and then they'd go back and continue to beat the mess out of each other.
that is crazy.
Hear them fighting, like
They use them like baseball bats to club each other,
Oh my gosh, you found it?
delivering up to 8 blows
hear the
a
pats.
second. Thick blubber helps protect vital
Wait.
organs and pumping.
That's them patting each
That's
other?
the penguins fighting.
He's getting smacked around right now. Bendito.
It sounds like terrible audio.
See, then just hear the end of this.
The love rivals call to the female to let her decide the victor.
She's calling to the female to the side. She's walking over there. She's looking around like.
She chooses the homewrecker.
Typical!
Man.
Typical!
Let me just say, I'm glad I'm a human because I'm not fighting for anybody.
Anyways, you guys are talking about lizards, right? So I have an announcement for you guys.
You got a pet lizard?
Before you guys got in here, I was cleaning, sweeping around, Opened the door, I was taking deep breaths, and a lizard ran in the house.
Okay.
A lizard's in here?
So I didn't know he was in here until I got upstairs. And I was like, what are you doing here? And I'm like, all right, let me just get like a bucket or something. So I get the bucket and he's like scrambling. And I'm like, oh, hell no. So then I'm trying to go after him without hurting him. And he ran into this room.
Kevin, is a lizard in this ball? Kevin, is a lizard
It's a
in
baby
here?
lizard, though.
Kevin.
It's a baby lizard, homie.
It's a baby lizard looking for a mama.
Is there a lizard in here, Kevin?
I don't know if it's in the ball pit, but
You know where it's probably at?
definitely in this room.
It's probably in that
No.
wall of grass.
Kevin.
That's
It
probably
could
what
be
it's
in the
sitting
grass.
like too. That's probably what it's sitting like.
Yeah.
Just like her right there. I just envisioned you falling
It
forward.
was a little baby
Kevin.
lizard.
It's a baby
fine.
lizard.
It's
It's
fine.
just
You'll
gonna
live.
nip at
Baby
you.
lizard is
She's
there
not from
trying to kill
Florida.
me.
She's not from
Yeah,
Florida.
like I'm from Florida. I'm just like whatever.
Yeah, I'm from Florida. It's like, all right.
I'm gonna do the rest of the show from out here.
But wait. Don't they have lizards in Atlanta?
Not like here.
They
They're
don't.
there,
They don't
but-
duel on your back porch.
I'm gonna do the rest of the show from here because I don't feel comfortable.
This is not a safe work environment.
It's fine. It's a little baby lizard.
Nope.
If anything, if it got up underneath you, that homie dead.
It just wants to save you money on your car insurance.
Like,
Oh my gosh. Oh my God.
I'm gonna chill right here. So what else are we talking about here?
We're gonna talk about those loud gulps.
Wawa iced
You
tea.
thirsty?
When is he not?
Right.
You see those
Anyway.
Instagram posts?
What have y'all been watching on TV? Have y'all watched Stranger Things?
Oh,
finished the whole season.
absolutely.
I
kidding me?
finished
I finished
Stranger
it.
Things,
Yeah, I got hooked on it. You tried to put me onto it, Danie.
and you wouldn't watch it.
And I wouldn't watch it. I was like, nah, this is, I don't want to get caught up into this. And then I watched the first one. I'm like, hold up. It's just the way they be ending. The each episode is a vicious cliffhanger.
That's
But
the point.
obviously, they want you to keep watching.
Well, I know that, but I feel like they execute it very well.
I hope so. They're
Very,
going into their
very
fifth
well.
season. If they didn't, they would have been off the air already.
Yeah, even the last episode of the recent season, man. I'm like, hold up.
Oh, there's a lot that's going to happen in season 5.
Can we talk about?
And that's supposed to be the
hold up.
last season, right? Season
Season 5 is when they end it.
I just want to say they hold my man Will out way too much.
Listen, that poor kid. He needs therapy.
Poor Will.
Every time you turn around, he's like,
Right. And you see that?
those
No,
kids'
no.
lives are so traumatic.
Homie got possessed, right? He got possessed first, right? And then afterwards finds out he might be coming out the closet. Well, no, not even might be. That man out the closet.
Well,
He's not
subtly,
out yet.
subtly.
Okay, and then let's start talking. Everything he does from Mike is just like, cool,
Whatever.
dude.
Yeah, Mike's
Cool,
like,
dude.
thanks,
Yo.
man. 11.
And she's just
Right.
Listen, the scene in the car broke me.
oh,
That
man.
was so sad.
But you got to figure though, like, so there was an interview and they talked about this, and they were talking about Will and his sexuality and if they're going to address it, and they're like, well, they're going to address it in the way you would back in the '80s during the AIDS pandemic or the AIDS epidemic and all that. So it was a very subtle way they handled it, and I love the way they handled the brother relationship when Jonathan like confronted him in the kitchen and was basically
Yeah.
like, I want you to know I will always be here.
Yeah.
He said everything without saying it. And
Right,
the
right.
acting in that was just so phenomenal. It's just such a good
Yeah,
show.
it was good. It
I
was
feel
good.
like there are a lot of good shows with really good actors out right now.
Yeah.
Like the acting pool is just top tier. Big shouts out to my friend. Her name is Gail Bean. She does P Valley. And do y'all watch P-Valley?
Never heard of it, but you're making me want to because I have an idea. I know what it's about.
So P-Valley is a show about strippers. It's a strip club. So before we even just do, what you usually do with a show about strip clubs, the first season is like, okay, this is kind of stereotypical strip club things. They really tried to do something different this second season, and oh my gosh, the last episode that I watched, well, by the time this comes out, it'll be another episode, but the last episode I watched, people that watch P-Valley will know, the Big Teak episode. Big shouts out to both of those actors because the acting phenomenal. Yeah. I have to find this guy's name to shout him out. The acting phenomenal. As we know, well, I know y'all probably know, like homosexuality in the Black community is just kind of like, like it's a taboo thing. Yeah. And these two, I think they're straight. Like, yeah, one of them is married. These two straight men playing these two characters, so authentic, addressing mental health and suicide. It was just so beautifully, literally one of the best displays of acting I have ever seen in my life.
Now, I feel like it's a really good year for music and a good year for television.
Like, yes.
Everybody's been locked down for so long. So everybody came out like,
that's what I said.
See me.
It's basically like something just hit my leg. And I think it might be the lizard.
That's why I'm not getting back in there.
Because it did not feel like a ball. Well,
that's why I'm not getting back in there.
I'll just say this. If it was the lizard, it is now dead. Sorry about your life. Anyway, what I was saying is after every lull in society, whether it have been a depression, a pandemic, or whatever, a war, there's always this resurgence of creativity because people are left alone with their brains and their thoughts. And so they had to bundle it up. Like Kevin said, the music has been on point. There's so many great albums out.
No, it's just a lot of, it's just a shift. Me being in the DJ world too. It's and then DJ Twitter too is just, y'all think radio is toxic? The DJ world?
I see your likes. I get a notification every time you like something. Yeah. And I'm like,
homie, the DJ, because it's funny because DJ Twitter will complain about oh my god, a lot of the hip hop songs now are just slow and whatever, and then now that Beyonce and Drake come out with something that's upbeat, and then
dance music basically,
I mean. Let's make this a point. They didn't put on house music.
And can we actually give homage to where that actually comes from? That comes from the gay community.
That is the
root of house music.
The gay Black community,
right,
in Chicago, from Frankie Knuckles. That's his specific name. That's his name. Yeah. But beyond that, you know what I'm saying? Just upbeat music is coming back. Shout out to A Craze. A Craze is Do It Too is one of the biggest songs in the world right now. You know what I mean? And the DJs now are just man, the Drake songs aren't working and Beyonce's song doesn't work and all this. But it's dope to see music getting more upbeat again. Nicki Minaj is dropping a new song and it's supposed to be hella upbeat too.
Right. Also too, you got to look at the resurgence of old songs. Kate Bush, Running Up That Hill came out in the 80s and it's now top 5 in pop radio.
Because of Stranger Things. Now kids know who Kate Bush is and they know the song and everything.
My homie Cass, I forgot what song he oh man, I can't think of
I wanted to say the actor's name I mentioned earlier in P-Valley. Big shouts out to J. Alphonse Nicholson and the other actor that this dude needs an Academy Award. I don't care. His name is John Clarence Stewart. If you don't watch P-Valley, watch it just for that episode alone.
You getting paid by P-Valley? Because you are very passionate about P-Valley.
No, but I just really love good displays of art. I'm not well, I guess I am kind of.
We literally, I said, I was singing something and you were like, musical theater. Don't lie.
No, we were. I just love when people take their art to the highest level that they can really take it to. And these two actors, I feel in that show really pushed themselves to the characters are so complex and you're seeing, I love layered characters and how you see each layer. It's not just this is just this guy.
Right. And as an actor, I mean, I've done a couple films, not to humble brag, but
an actor.
And you've won an award.
I did. I am an award-winning actor. It was a local-based award, but it's fine. but it's really hard to do, and it's not something that's easy to, because you have to go to a place oftentimes to portray these characters. You have to go to your darkest moments, which people wonder why actors are constantly like going into rehab or they're abusing substances, and it's like, because to get to a place to perform these roles can be very, very, very difficult. And if you go to a place that's hard to come back from, it can really take a toll. So, any actor that gets to that point, it is something you have to applaud.
Right. And especially like you were saying too, like playing different layers and having those layers be believable and having the audience kind of on that journey with you as you kind of dissect those layers of a person, because we're complex people, right?
Yeah, right.
So, if y'all don't watch that show, y'all have to watch that. At least just watch that episode.
I'm going to watch it, and then I'm going to tweet out at Danie B. Trippin, made me watch this show. You should pay her. She's a great marketer. Hire her for your marketing.
Okay. I'll market for Chuckalisa. Y'all don't know the show, so y'all don't know what that is. But yeah, I'll market for Chuckalisa all day.
Man,
Chuckalisa,
I've been busy trying to find this tweet that my homie Cass put up. Oh, he actually put it. He said, I just got a request. This is from DJ Cass, on Twitter. He said, I just got a request for Pass the Dutchie. And I remembered it was on the new season of Stranger Things. I'm always a fan when a movie or show brings back classics to the new audience, which is dope, because these young little jits coming up, they're just like, oh my God, please play Pass the Dutchie. It's like, you know that.
Why do you know that?
Because Stranger Things is so famous now. It's like,
Yeah.
Which is Running Up the Hill. Is that what, Running Up the Hill it's called?
Yeah, Running Up That Hill. Yeah.
Running Up That Hill.
And to that point, I think a lot of people, because music before the pandemic was in that melancholy headspace.
Right.
And I think being in the point now where we went through the pandemic, people are like, we need positivity. We need creativity, originality. And so you're seeing that. Like, I'm also looking at artists like Avril Lavigne came back and released an album. And it's like you said, she
did?
Yeah, it's called Love Sucks. It's actually if you like emo pop punk, it's exactly what you're expecting from her.
Right.
Dope,
and but she went through a phase where her music was so like dramatic and oh, life is terrible. And this is just fun and happy records. And I think we're seeing that more and more in all genres of music.
It's funny you say that, because I haven't checked out Avril, but I remember hearing about it. Big shouts out to Rick Austin. He lives here, and
I love Rick.
Yeah, he works with Elektra, and he was telling us about the Avril. He was like, "Yo, Avril is coming back out, and it's what you expect from her, but I mean, it's like a new sound at the same time."
Yeah.
And so I was like, "Okay, cool." So
it's a more mature, like, because her album with Skater Boy just was 20. It's 20 years old,
right?
Which makes me feel real old. But she just celebrated that, and it's kind of like the evolution of that,
right?
And so, but I love that. I love when artists from like our childhood.
Yeah.
They continuously, like Beyonce is continuously, reinventing herself, pushing out new things. And
well, it's also that, I mean, obviously house music right now is kind of a trend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? House music is definitely coming.
It's
always been here, but it's definitely more. It's
coming back.
In the bigger
it's a
eye,
resurgence
as far as like
happening.
in the mainstream world.
Do you think that's because of TikTok and all these like mashups that people do on TikTok? They're just kind of like, oh, I think this is
I'm
cool
not
now.
sure. I mean, from what I know is house music has always been big. So I've always been like somewhat in it, because I have to download some records that's coming out. Like when Losing It by Fisher came out. I don't know if you guys remember that song. I'm losing it. It's like, that came out. But like, I don't know when it took off mainstream wise, to be honest. I mean, maybe A-Craze, after A-Craze, probably A-Craze. After
I'm also thinking about
TikTok launched that man. It's
well,
he's all over Europe right now. Shout out to him.
There's so many shows, like Danie was saying too, like the P-Valley effect. Like Pose was a really big show and had a lot of this kind of music. Like
Pose.
Claws. A lot of these shows have been using this music, and I think it's a lot, and kind of like shining a light on, hey, look, this stuff's great. Like why,
No, it's dope. I love it. I love it. I mean, it's just like when reggae was kind of like in that vibe. You got Tory Lanez making a reggae song. You had Rihanna was always doing it, but like Drake started doing it. You know what I mean? Everybody started having this little like reggae influenced beat, and then the Latin world obviously took over. Like no tomorrow. I felt like everybody had a Latin feature on their song. Do
you think the whole house music thing is people, I guess, being more accepting of, I guess, like gay culture and stuff, because a lot of that is from there. And like you have your Saucy Santanas and people like that, like really popping off into mainstream now. Do you think that has something to do with it too? That people are just becoming more accepting,
I don't know.
and then that stuff is like
honestly,
merging?
I think this is what it is. Music goes through cycles, right?
And I think that too.
So we just had the hip hop cycle, you
Yeah.
know, and everyone, I mean, like Halsey, Taylor Swift had a record with Future. I mean, that's how you know you're in that cycle. And I think then you go, it never fails. Then you go into the dance cycle. So like it brings me back to like Cascada, DJ Sammy, you know, that realm of like the early 2000s. Then you go into the pop rock genre, and then you go right back into the hip hop. So I think it's honestly a lot of the people in the music industry trying to reinvent the wheel, but it's a wheel.
Right.
Yeah, we're consistently seeing it. Well, when we were on the radio, we would consistently see the trends every single year just change and change.
Yeah,
and
it would
change.
just literally, like you said, it goes in a cycle.
But I'm genuinely in love with this era of whatever the hell we got going on right now.
I love it.
I like it because I feel like also too in the clubs, it's becoming very, very open. Like this past Saturday that I was at Eve Orlando, it's usually a very, very hard hip hop night. Hip hop or like a blend between Latin and hip hop. This was the first time I played Latin, hip hop, house music, reggae. I went to like pop music. I played Stay by Justin Bieber inside that club. Like that's not, I never played that song in there.
Yeah.
Right,
you know what
right,
I'm saying?
right.
Like, and then I layered it right into a hip hop song, you know, and I'm very like versatile in that era of that, just like throwing different genres around and playing with it. So for that to kind of like feed to such a mass audience now at work,
Right.
oh my gosh, yeah. So I'm excited for wherever the hell.
It's kind of one of those moments where
trend of music's
I wish we
going.
were on the radio like all together, because we could actually like be just breaking it down in the studio.
Oh,
you know,
man,
that's one thing I do miss
yeah.
is like the dance
Yeah.
breaks and.
Yeah.
With the radio, and then that's funny too, because like when, for instance, Beyonce song dropped, I mean I saw that it was dropping,
Yeah.
but I like heard it like days later. Like I remember being on the radio, it's like Beyonce is dropping at midnight. You will have the song in your inbox at midnight. You will load the song at midnight. This is happening.
Kevin has PTSD with that.
I know, like Kevin does.
Don't look
But
at me.
Like we would come in the next morning on the show, and it's like we've heard the song like 5-6 times
Yeah.
already, and it's
Yeah.
like, oh. Somebody else comes like a week later, like, oh, did you hear the new Beyonce? And we're like, oh, I've already heard that.
Okay, this all went to a place, and that's the end of this.
We'll
podcast.
continue whatever this is next week.
Right.
Have a great week.
We'll be back Friday. Oh, looking at the lips though, CJ.